Today we're going to work on the P0402 excessive gas recirculation flow. Excessive detected. So on a 99 NB and 00, this is almost considered a maintenance issue, not a huge deal. So basically what we have to do is remove the throttle body, the top half of the intake manifold, and we're going to pull the EGR while we're at it. Get it all clean. There's a vacuum line or internal port that runs through here to the EGR valve that often gets clogged. A common workaround is to uncap this here and run a vacuum line that way. It's less likely to get clogged, and if it does, it's much easier. But I'm going to try to keep it as it is and make it clean and see if that works. 12, 12, 12, 12. With those nuts and bolts removed and the throttle cable removed and the bolt for the ground, you can let the throttle body just hang there. It's fine. Next, I removed my vacuum lines. So next we'll undo these bolts, and this will, whole top of the intake manifold will come right off. I forgot, there's also a 10mm bolt right there. You gotta get that guy too. And then, I can't see it here, but there's a couple, two longer 12mm under the throttle body. Those are the last ones, I promise. I just slid the throttle body back on to get to them easier, but super easy. Now it should come off. They look kind of dirty in there. Pretty sure that's the port we want to get. And then next we'll take off the actual EGR valve itself, and might as well clean it as well. Alright, two 12mm in the back. Unplug the wiring harness, take care of the gasket, and the actual EGR comes right out. Spread a lot of cleaner through there. I have a zip tie going through there. It's feeling pretty clean. I think that should flow pretty well. Give it one more rinse, and that one's done. All right, the EGR valve, I gave it a good clean. Valve appears to be closed. Nothing really major in there. I sprayed it with cleaner really well until it basically started draining clear. So I think it's pretty good. But it is definitely cleaner now than it was. Okay, this is the bottom half of the intake manifold. This port right there comes out the top hole of the side of the EGR over here. The actual EGR tube right there, if you can probably not see, but I actually have a zip tie running in this way and then coming out the bottom hole of the EGR, sort of flossing it, making sure it's all clear. So this top one going through to here is now clear for sure, and the bottom one going to the actual EGR tube is now clear for sure. All right, so we've cleaned everything in the top of the intake manifold. All the ports are super clean. We cleaned the EGR valve itself. I gave the actual bottom half of the intake manifold a bit of a wipe down, especially the gasket. But we've cleaned any sort of port, connected to the EGR. That includes the one from right here. It goes out the back, and the actual EGR tube, which you can see I have disconnected so I could run a piece of zip tie through there to floss it out. So now just put everything back together. All right, when you put everything back together, make sure you have everything connected, your PCV valve, your cruise control vacuum, your braking vacuum, your throttle cable, all your bolts underneath and up top, along here, along here. When you do all of these bolts, put them all in loose and then tighten them down when you have them all in. Makes it easier to align. Pretty easy. Goes back together quicker than it comes apart. That's pretty quick, maybe like 5-10 minutes. Easy job. All right, so got to take it for a drive. Nice little Sunday. Drove to a friend's house on the highway, about 20 miles. Went for a drive with him. Of course, drove back on the highway. No CEL, which is good. And one thing I definitely noticed is that coming in at speed for a stop sign, a red light, you let off the gas, put it in neutral, RPMs drop right back to normal, idle perfectly. That's where before the cleaning, it would sort of drop low a bit before it found its nice idle. So definitely improvement there. Everything ran great, no CEL. So a little bit early to tell for sure if that did the trick after only maybe like 50 miles, but it definitely feels better. It feels really good. So I think it did the trick. So easy job. If you have this issue, go for it. Not hard at all.